Kansas Speedway. One and a half miles in the heart of America. Where you can go from first to last in one corner. No track shuffles the deck like Kansas. Big runs, bigger blocks. No one lifts when the wind's on the line. Get ready for speed, strategy, and an unforgettable finish. This is where the unexpected is expected. Live, only on Doghouse Racing TV. This is the Group 6 Cup Series at Kansas Speedway. We are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the heartland of America, Kansas Speedway, here live on Doghouse Racing TV for the MARSS Properties 201 here in the Group 6 Cup Series on Thursday nights. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, and I'm up here with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, up here in the booth for what is sure to be a fantastic night of racing here at Kansas. We were talking a lot before the race about how much fun this track is to run, and I know these guys are looking forward to it. But before we get you over to all of the action that we are sure to have tonight, want to be sure that we take a second and thank all of our sponsors who make this thing happen. This is the Group 6 Cup Series here on Thursday nights in the Doghouse Racing League. Group 6 Cup Series is our series sponsor for this year, so huge shout out to them for making this thing tick and making sure that this league goes off. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com. That is GROUP, the number 6. inc.com, and see how they can drive your digital success. Special thanks to Group 6 again for being our series sponsor this year. As mentioned earlier, this is the MARSS Properties 201 here at Kansas. MARSS Properties offers vacation house getaways in North Carolina within an hour from the ocean. Call 817-705-4108. That is 817-705-4108. And speak to Shane directly about your North Carolina getaway. Huge shout out to MARSS Properties for being the race sponsor here. You can find MARSS Properties also on that car out there of Shane Parrish. And I know he is expecting a big night tonight. The Doghouse Racing League is also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Also, huge shout out to Buttkicker for being a longtime sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. If you want to take your iRacing or racing experience to the next level with some haptic energy, be sure you head on over to their website at thebuttkicker.com and take your racing experience up a level. Again, huge shout out to Buttkicker for being a sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. And as always, if this is your first time here, or if you're a long-time listener but haven't been able to join with us yet, be sure you subscribe to the Doghouse Racing TV channel so you don't miss a second of the action that we are bringing you here, not just on Thursday nights, but also on Sunday nights as well. Leave a like on the stream so we know that you appreciate it, and as always, be loud in the comments, cheering for your favorite driver, your favorite team. We read them live. We love seeing them. The drivers love being able to go back and watch it and hear their loved ones cheering them on As always, we got BMAC in the comments saying, show them what you got, Team BMP. And Andrew number 12, what a super Mother's Day gift this would be. Go, Andrew. That's so sweet. BMAC, as always, showing love. And I know Andrew and Team BMP, Beast Mode Performance, love to hear it. But let me quit yapping for a second. John, talk to me about Kansas.
Well, I want to start off by saying that was a fantastic ad read. Probably your best yet. If I had to put him on a ranking and a scale. But, here we are at Kansas. No place like home, right? Not really my home, but I think this is the home state for Eric Wharman, if I'm not mistaken. It is Kansas. So home track for Eric Wharman. Nice little homecoming for him here tonight. Coming back to his home state track. Kansas is a fun track. Can get kind of loose if it gets too hot out there. Not really sure what the temperature is here as I try to pull it up. We're looking at a track temp of about 119 degrees, which means it is going to be hot and slick out there on the track tonight. So these drivers can be fighting with that for most of the night. Kansas is cool because there's kind of multiple different lines you'll see these guys run. You might see them go to the top line. You might see them run the bottom line. Pretty much decides on how this track is going to stick tonight, which side they run. So it's going to be fun to see that and which line they take, which line they're going to pass with, which line they're going to run to save tires, which line they're going to run to catch up. So it's going to be a fun night, I think.
I definitely think so, too. We were talking a lot before this thing about how exciting racing at Kansas can be to watch. Like you said, there's a lot of strategy that goes in. It's not just a really fast mile and a half. It's also, picking which lane you're going to run and figuring out how that's going to play into the race. I know we're looking at some of these practice times here. Jamie Horn looks really fast out there. Daniel Wilkerson, race admin, putting down really fast times in practice. But I know we have a lot of guys out here who are looking for really good performances here.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping Daniel can pull something out here tonight. Runs a great league. He's got his hands full. While he is driving, he is also running race control for a lot of these races. So, I mean, that definitely hinders his performance. Trying to clear black flags and make sure everything's just right. And race control is not a fun position to run. So, props to him for running that while he's actually racing. And hopefully he can go out here and show out tonight.
I know he's definitely putting on the kind of performance in practice. Like he is going to go out there and run them down here tonight. Also, we know Shane Parrish is going to be looking for a big night tonight. Our winner last week ran a brilliant race at Texas. Running that MARSS Properties car. Seems like whenever it's a MARSS Properties race, he does really, really well. But he's been racking up some wins here. I believe he was our first 2-race winner. Became our first 3-race winner last week. It seems like in some of the other races, he's had some bad luck strikes. So I know he's looking to double up on that good performance from last week tonight.
Yeah, I also like Chris Simon here tonight, too. Chris has ran this track quite a lot with the Doghouse Racing League. He knows it pretty well. He's been pretty fast all year, too, so he's looking to actually get a win. And he was our winner in the Daytona Clash, which was not for points, but coming in here tonight, trying to get some points for a win on the board. His teammate, Jonathan Jennings, is, I think, the only Shoney's member to have a win under their belt this season. So, trying to make that 2 with Chris Simon here tonight, currently sitting 3rd in practice.
Don't want to rule out either. I know BMAC was cheering for him just a second ago. I don't believe any of them have put down a practice lap, but I'm expecting to see some movement out of the BMP team tonight as well. I see Andrew's actually just now getting out there. But between Andrew Nicholas and Kevin Thompson, the 1291 and the 6, I know that they're expecting a big performance here tonight. Andrew been running really great all season, just running top 5s like they're on sale at Walmart. But I know he's been searching for that first win. Don't know how he feels about Kansas. I know different people feel different ways about this track, but definitely expecting good things out of him and his team.
Yeah, I got Gary Clune up on the screen right now, part of that BMP team, ripping the high side, doing a really good job at it, too. I'm pretty impressed with the way he's able to hold it up there to the wall and keep it straight. The higher up you go, closer to the wall you get around these corners, the more speed you're going to have coming out. So it's really a challenge of seeing how close you can get without going too far and hitting that wall, because you hit that wall, these cars are pretty much made of glass, especially on that right front. It's going to tear it to pieces, mess up your steering. You're going to lose a lot of straight speed coming with that damage. And no fast repairs in this league. So if you damage it, it's going to be pretty much done if it can't be repaired.
Definitely. And some of the guys that we always just kind of see sneaking up through the pack or rolling the dice. I mean, you got guys like Josh Cully. He's up there with the 6th fastest practice time right now. He's been a guy all year long that's just been very silent, just kind of worked his way up through the field and just puts down top 5s. And it's been really cool to watch him. It seems like really just like he keeps getting better. And you also got guys like Seth Fitzpatrick, never afraid to roll the dice, always running different strategies. For pit road, really knows how he likes to drive his car and what he's capable of at different tracks. And he's been really fun to watch. And I know he's still chasing that win, but I think that's got to be in the cards coming up for him soon.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of guys have been knocking on the door for quite a while here and looking to actually secure the win. But we started out this season with a different driver winning every single week, and now it's kind of gotten to the same similar guys up there in the top 3 every week. Kind of rotates between 5 people, I should say, between guys like Jamie Horn, Jonathan Jennings, Shane Parrish, even though he had his stint of bad luck. Seth Fitzpatrick been putting on a show lately for us. You got guys like Andrew St. Cyr always near the top. Justin McMahon weekly getting top 5s. So see if anybody can try to knock them off tonight. If there's a place to do it, I think Kansas is it. You can really get into a groove here and a rhythm and show some good speed. I'm also looking forward to Adam Thompson tonight as well. We know how good he is at these 1.5 miles. He's come out here. He won at Darlington a few weeks ago. Even went to Bristol, I think the week after, or maybe it was the week before. Caught up from a lap or 2 down and finished in 4th place. So definitely got some speed.
Yeah, Adam's been running really well recently. I know he had a little bit of bad luck at Texas last week, but I think he's ready for a bounce back. Like you said, I know he's talked about how much he likes the 1.5 miles, so definitely can see a big run coming out of him tonight, but sure to be an exciting night at Kansas nonetheless.
Yeah, right here we got Chris Leftwich in his new Monster Energy car. That's a nice looking car too. I'm hoping if you're seeing that on your screen, I'm not sure if my trading paints is working correctly. Looks like the Monster Energy car with a 13 on the side.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope, your trading paints is working correctly. He's got the white monster out there, the superior monster.
Yeah, his number looked a little, what's a good way to put it? Not bland. Default, like the default setting number you get for iRacing. That's why I was wondering if it was working right, because that's usually my first indicator. But that's a good looking car out there. I like the all white coming out here to Kansas.
That is clean. Expect it to probably have a few bumps and bruises on it by the end of the night here at Kansas, given the speed that these guys are going to be running. But either way, this is a sweet looking car.
Yeah, Chris is really an aggressive driver, but aggressive in a good way. He knows how to handle the car and knows how to get to the front. He's been having some really good runs in this series and also in other leagues or other series lately, including our Tuesday night league that you can catch on Intensity Broadcasting at 7:45, racing the Gen 4 cars. They're about to come to a close in that season. I believe we have 4 races left, if I'm not mistaken. And also on Sunday night in the Truck Series presented by Auto Pros. Special shout out to them, and that is hosted here on the Doghouse Racing TV channel by our very own Jamie Horn and Daniel Wilkerson, and I believe Bill Gentry joins them sometimes, or maybe he's there full time.
I think it's a mix of cast and crowd up there, but always a good show nonetheless. Very, very, very professional. Love watching those streams as well, so be sure you check those out if you haven't had a chance to yet. We are getting ready to get our qualifying started. So we will see. I know we saw a lot of different variations in practice line. Guys trying to figure out where they want to run it. Big variation in times too. I mean, we had about 1.4 seconds of variation between the top and bottom. And got a big crowd here tonight, so it's sure to be a good time.
Yeah, before we get to qualifying, I am going to pull up the point standings really quick so you can see where your favorite driver is landing right now. Had a shift in the points board after last week. Even with Shane Parrish winning, I believe he jumped from 13th place. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. 13th place up to 6th place, I believe. That's, yeah, a 7-position jump. Seth Fitzpatrick's going to take over the lead from Jamie Horn, who was in 2nd place. St. Cyr hanging around there in 3rd. Jonathan Jennings with 2 wins under his belt, hanging back in 4th place. Justin McMahon in 5th. Shane Parrish in 6th. Kevin Thompson, part of that BMP crew, in 7th. Eric Wharman, 8th. Adam Thompson, 9th. And Cameron King in 10th.
And Cameron King's been another one of those guys that kind of can fly under the radar sometimes, but has just been putting down really, really great finishes. Expect to see a good night out of him as well. You see Josh Cully there in 15th. Always running really well. Really close in points this year, man. Like, we've had some years in the Doghouse Racing League where it's been kind of just blow away victories, and it has definitely not been that this year.
Yeah, a lot of close races. It's been very few and far between if we see just an absolute dominating finish. I know we saw one at Bristol with Jonathan Jennings kind of taking it there. Only 3 cars in the lead lap at the end of that race.
Yep.
Shane Parrish last week at Texas just had the car to beat. But all these drivers getting out here to qualify tonight, looking for another close race, a good show. Putting down the first times. I got Cameron King. We just talked about him grabbing that pole position, and just like that, St. Cour is going to take it away from him by about a 10th.
I was going to say, I'm kind of seeing it again. We're seeing a big variation in the qualifying times we're starting to see come through. Shane Parrish with a monster time. I was about to say he's our only sub 31 qualifying lap, and then Chris Leftwich comes in there. Now we're starting to see the hotter laps roll in.
Yeah, I believe your second lap here is probably going to be your hot lap.
And it is dancing back and forth. Andrew St. Cour lost it there for a second to Adam Thompson. St. Cour gets it right back with a 30.64. Shane Parrish bouncing back with a 30.63.
You're watching Jamie Horn come around, try to capitalize on that time, see if he can move up any at all. And he's going to move up into your second place spot right behind Shane Parrish.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think you kind of just spoke it into existence right there. These guys were looking for that second lap, hot lap magic, and they definitely put it down out there. I think we only saw one sub 31 first lap, and now looks like pretty much our entire top 10 is going to be sub 31 second guys. So, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, Justin McMahon's bringing around for his second lap here too, riding that high side wheel, kept it together, going to hit below the apron, crossing the stripe, see if that moves him up at all. It does, into 8th place. See if we can catch any more drivers out here trying to get a lap in. Mike Leftwich moving up to the 14th position. Part of that Shoney's race team.
It looks like most of the guys are kind of winding it down just a little bit. I see Brian Messer coming off the track just now. And still got a couple guys who haven't put down a lap yet. Looks like Gary Maydew hadn't gone out yet. Richard Leclerc out there on the track right now. Looks like he's trying to get his first lap in. And then Michael Dow and Josh Cully haven't put it out there on the track just yet.
Richard Leclerc comes across the line for his first lap. That's going to put him in 26th position. Nick Atwood just finishing up his, moving up that spot to 26 now. I don't see anybody else out on the track except for Mike Leftwich, who has finished his qualifying run, and Nicholas Atwood, who has also finished his qualifying run.
It is looking like we are going to have 31 drivers in here to run the MARSS Properties 201 here at Kansas. Assuming that all of them decide to take the track. We currently have 3 guys, Gary Maydew, Michael Dow, and Josh Cully, who have not put down a lap. And I believe at this point, because I think they do 5 minutes for qualifying, at this point wouldn't have time to put one down. But other little notes to make about the race. We are doing 134 laps here at Kansas. We will be doing a stage break at lap 34 and lap 67. There is not a yellow flag thrown for the stage breaks in this series. It will be just for some bonus points.
We do have a quick 10-minute warm-up, and I'm trying to set up an interview right now. I'm trying to do something a little different here. depending on if our very own Adam Thompson responds here in just a second. We're going to try to take a lap inside Adam Thompson's car and have him talk us through it. What's going on?
This is a new one. I like this. The other fun thing I just kind of heard over the radio there right quick. Shane Parrish and Jamie Horn tied on their qualifying time. And it was showing Shane Parrish as the pole winner, I'm assuming because of points. And he came over the radio and said, I think that because it's a tie, it should go to the person whose name comes first in the alphabet. Jamie's would come before mine. So I think Jamie should get the pole.
I think I've ever seen that before.
That's a new one on me, but I think it's a good show of sportsmanship.
Let's see if we can pull Adam Thompson up here in the booth. Adam, you got a copy with us?
Gentlemen.
Welcome, welcome. Always good to have you up here.
How you boys doing?
We're doing good. We were hoping we can jump in the car with you as you take a lap around. You kind of talk us through the track.
I'm just going to turn you up a set real quick.
How do you feel about Kansas first and foremost?
Well, I was feeling pretty good this week, but temps are hotter tonight, so car's a little loose. I think I'm going to start with it loose and kind of just see what happens, and if we need to, we'll tighten her up. But yeah, I mean, I'll pretty much run this bottom line here that I'm in right now, both 1, 2, 3, and 4, and try to stay down here to at least lap 30, and then if I need to, I can move up, because you save so much more tire down here on the bottom.
Yeah, I know the temps are like close to 120-ish here tonight. I'm going to try to pull up the weather here for a second. 115 right now, track temp. Do you think you're going to be utilizing this below the apron part at the start-finish line for most of the night?
You know what? I'll be honest. I'm going to play that by ear, but we might. It depends on how we come off of 4 and if we're side by side, and if I feel like it'll give me an advantage, but probably not. I mean, I try not to use it a whole lot.
Now, tire saving is going to be a big deal tonight, especially with it being so hot. You think there will be ever a time that you'll go to the high side? Do you think you'll make your passes through the mid? How's that going to work out for you if you come into traffic?
Yeah, I mean, I try to, at Kansas, stay at the bottom at all costs. But yes, if I need to go center to high to make a pass, I'll definitely do it. And then, like I said, later in the run, you know, if the tires wear out, if middle to high is better, well, yeah, then we'll run it.
What's your fuel strategy looking like tonight?
For me, you know how Doghouse is. It's so, sometimes we go green, sometimes we don't. So I don't usually have a plan anymore coming in. I'll just kind of see how it goes. But if we get an early caution, I'll probably come down and just top off, not take tires, and go back out.
How many laps will you get off of a full tank here?
I honestly have not run our fuel run. I'm maybe 40, 45. Did we run a full tank in this league? I can't remember.
I believe it's 70%.
Yeah, I feel like we don't run a full tank. So, yeah. But I don't quote me on that one because I haven't done a fuel run.
Yeah, I know last time we did it, I believe, was at Daytona with a full tank, and everybody was kind of fuel saving. I believe that was a change. I'm not 100% on that, but I remember that race, so everybody was just kind of hanging back the whole race and making a one-stop or a no-stop race.
Totally. Yeah, the big thing tonight, well, like you said earlier, it's going to be tires. That's all I'm going to focus on. I'll let everybody by in the beginning and try to run the first 15, 20 laps, just saving like as much as I can.
Absolutely. And then coming into the corners, are you hitting any brake at all here?
No, just lifting.
Just lifting.
Yeah, I just burp it for a minute. But yeah, I'll see right there. Maybe later in the run we may have to tap the brake a little, you know, as the tires wear out. But definitely the first, I think, 25, 30 laps, you shouldn't have to really touch them.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to let you get back to it and get your warm-up going. I appreciate you walking us through the track here for a little warm-up session. This is probably something we're going to do in the future with some other drivers as well, kind of like this. But Good luck to you. I'm not picking you to win tonight, but you're welcome in advance.
It's my home track.
I can't do it to you, man.
We'll see what happens.
I am like 0 for 9, 0 for 10. So.
Hey, I just want to finish the race. I've had some bad luck.
You've been fast at all these 1.5 miles and all these, especially shorter tracks. So, definitely looking forward to seeing what you can throw down out there tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, you guys have fun up there and put on a good show.
Yes, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Later.
Thanks.
I kind of like that.
Pretty fun. You kind of get the on the track perspective, because the way we kind of play off of each other in the booth is you've got a lot more experience behind the wheel than I do. I just kind of put the ball on the tee for you, but then to actually be able to talk to somebody that's in there, you know, talking their way through their run, and then you get to kind of see the difference in strategies play out in real time. And he was talking about how he's going to be mostly running the low side here tonight, only going to go up if he really needs to pass. Super careful with tires and things like that. And, you know, there's probably going to be 4 or 5 different other strategies here tonight, and you get to kind of see how those all play off of each other differently.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing if these people are going to rip the high side here tonight. Like, who's going to do it? Maybe take that bold strategy and go out there and do it. Like you said, it will burn up the tires, but it's going to be pretty fast. And I can imagine some people utilizing that, especially in this first stint coming out, as Nick Atwood kind of clips the grass there, trying to win our John Deere award pretty early tonight.
Unofficial, not sponsored.
Yeah,
John Deere award, but yeah, I do expect, and we've seen strategies like that work out here. I mean, you can build enough of a lead if you really think you have the car to do it and can play your cards right. You can get yourself out enough of a lead if it stays green that you can kind of just keep cycling that throughout the rest of the race. We saw Shane Parrish do that successfully last week, where he brought it down later than everybody else and still only ended up 8 seconds behind with fresh tires and was able to just blow his way back right back out there to a lead. We saw Seth Fitzpatrick almost do that to a charm earlier in the year, where he had a 20-some second lead and just stayed out and tried to run it out. And if he had one more lap, I mean, he was bringing that thing home. But got Spooby G here saying, "Go Team Beast Mode. Wish I could be there tonight."
Let's see. I did not know that Adam Thompson was from Kansas. Emporia, I did know that. I've seen that like so many times. So I know he's from Kansas. I know Eric Wharman is from Kansas. Eric
You
Wharman
setting
with
up
that.
a pick here?
Do what?
You setting up a pick here?
I've got some picks in my head, but I will let those fly under our pace car laps here in a second.
Okay, fair enough.
But while we're sitting here, let's go ahead and look at our grid for the night while we have 1 minute and 20 seconds. If you would like to read those off for us.
I reckon I can do that for you. That is, of course, once my screen decides to update. There we go. So in our pole position, we had to, I guess, people trying to give it to one another, but officially on the iRacing side of things, Shane Parrish is getting your pole position tonight with a 30.638, with the same exact time as the number 98 machine of Jamie Horn. Andrew St. Cyr for Beast Mode Performance, bringing it in 3rd. Seth Fitzpatrick in 4th. Scott Bailey in 5th. Kevin Thompson, so 2 BMP guys in the top 6. Going to be starting in 6th. Chris Leftwich, your first Shoney's driver out there, is in 7th. Adam Thompson, who we just did a lap with, in 8th. Justin McMahon in 9th. And Gary Clune, another BMP guy, rounding out your top 10. Eric Anderson in 11th. Chris Simon in 12th. Stephen Bonomo in 13th. Mike Leftwich 14. Zach Michael 15, Joe McKnight in 16th, Eric Wharman, one of the 2 Kansas residents here tonight, in 17th, Tony Martin in 18th, Daniel Wilkerson, your race admin, in 19th, but had much faster practice time, so looking to see him move through the track here tonight. Got our 2 Hot Laps Heroes guys side by side, 20th and 21st, in Nick Alford and Nick Shell. Mark Dumont, 22nd. Brian Dixon, 23rd. Zachary Miller, 24th. Cameron King, another Hot Lap Heroes guy, in 25th. Nick Atwood in 26th. Richard Leclerc, 27th. Brian Messer, 28th. Josh Cully, Gary Maydew, and Michael Dow are in 29th, 30th, and 31st. None of them put down a qualifying lap.
These guys are starting to grid up here now. I know for the past like 2 weeks we've been right at the line where the green flag drops reading out these names, so I want to make sure we hit it early tonight.
Where you start just trying to speed through those last like 5 names.
Yeah.
You try to give everybody their time, make sure they get their name read. And anybody that's at home watching gets to see them go across the screen, and then there's been a couple times where we've been at the end and you're like, and Brian Messer, Josh Cully, Gary Maydew, Michael Dow.
We try our best.
Yeah, I figure I don't want to sound like an auctioneer up here while we're trying to broadcast a race, but definitely looking forward to some action here tonight. See them start to get gridded up there out on the track. Interested to see how the kind of internet thing comes in. I know the last couple races we've broadcasted have had some internet issues pop up here and there. After the last iRacing update, I know they switched up some servers, and I know some people have had some trouble with it, so hopefully we don't have any of those problems tonight. And then for myself, I am currently under a severe storm warning, so hopefully mine also stays up and running.
Yeah, I am too. But mine said until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., so that's pretty broad.
There's going to be a storm at some point, man. We don't really know when, but it's probably going to be bad when it hits.
Could you imagine being a weatherman? That's your job. Just kind of, I mean, it's going to rain at some point.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
might.
I don't know how much or how long, but it probably will rain this week sometime. Somewhere.
It's going to rain.
Looking through all these
have-
nice cars out here that we have grading up tonight. Go ahead before I cut you off there.
Oh, you're good. I was just going to say, got a comment from, let's see, Thorn Hillside saying, go Tony Martin. Tony Martin out there going to be starting in 18th position. I know he's looking to have a big run here tonight. And then just again, just wanted to say 17 people out there watching the live. Thank you very much for joining with us here for the MARSS Properties 201. We appreciate it. The drivers appreciate it. It's really cool to see all the love that gets shown to these streams. I know these guys love going back and be able to watch it, see their performance, see how everything went down. So we appreciate every single one of you out here with us tonight.
Yeah, I feel like Tony Martin's a guy we don't really talk about like too much, but from what I know about him, he's a guy that has a switch almost, and if he hits that switch, he can drive to the front if he wants to. It's just whenever Tony Martin turns it on, he'll start moving forward a little bit more. So I'm wondering tonight he's going to flip that switch and drive up to the front. He's got a good shot. I know he's raced at Kansas a lot before, but we are about to go green. Pace car is off.
And here we go for some Kansas action. Green flag racing. Big checkup down there on the low side. Looks like we got everything figured out, but they are back in line.
St. Course sliding up there right behind Parrish and in front of Jamie Horn. Scott Bailey trying to make a push to the front.
I was listening to the radio here, everything come over. I don't know if we had a little bit of a blink or if there was a spin out or something, but looks like Richard Leclerc fell all the way back to the back of the pack. So I think that might have been what was causing that checkup. And it looks like it slowed some other drivers down as well. Josh Cully now 5 seconds off the pace. Michael Dow, Brian Dixon trying to catch back up to that pack there.
Patriot riding that high side, making it work for him, getting around Jamie Horn here. Falling right behind in St. Cour. And he's got a teammate, Scott Bailey, back there trying to catch up to him as well.
Lots of different strategies. You can see it all kind of happening here at the beginning of this race. I know we were talking earlier on to Adam Thompson, how he said he wanted to be on the low side, but see him up on there on the high side, letting it rip right there behind the 6 of Kevin Thompson.
I don't know if Chris overshot that corner or if Jamie Horn checked up a little bit, but like Chris Leftwich kind of got in the back of Jamie Horn right there. Scott Bailey hits the back of Chris Leftwich, just kind of making an accordion, but everybody's good. Held it together well. Chris is going to try to take that high side now above Jamie Horn and see if he can make it work for him.
It looks like he's got the run to do it right here. Seth Fitzpatrick trying to work around Andrew St. Clair there on the high side. Him and Chris Leftwich look like they got a good thing going. Kevin Thompson and that 6 machine trying to get up close to him.
Yeah, and the thing that's kind of unique about Kansas here is how these guys are taking below that apron there. You're going to see a lot of guys get boxed in when they're trying to take this high line and take this short line or this low line. And when you get around that front stretch, you could take the apron, and that's really going to open it up for passing.
100%. I see we got a couple more comments in here. Tony Pizarro says, rest in peace to Chet Lemon. Like the baseball player? That's the only Chet Lemon I can think of. And then Thorn Hillside again saying, have to show a little love for my brother. That's really, really cool. 3 wide. Right there in the middle. Adam Thompson on the bottom.
It's like Scott Bailey's going to be in the center of that. Kevin Thompson on the top side is going to be able to push through. Probably going to have a run. Jumps down in front of Adam Thompson here. Look, 3 wide behind, too, with Mike Leftwich, Eric Anderson, Eric Wharman behind. Anderson gets into Chris Simon.
Yeah, that got a little bumpy there for a second, but it looks like they were able to figure it out. He had to go all the way to the bottom, though. Definitely got a little bit loose right there.
You can see these drivers drive out of turn 2 here, starting to file out just a little bit more. But, I mean, coming around turn 3 right here, Mike Leftwich with a great run on that high side. He'll have a good run coming out of this corner if he can stick it. He'll probably pull right up to Eric Anderson by turn 1 here. I don't know if he's going to have to slow up a little bit now.
I think he checked the wall just a little bit there coming out. But he is letting that high side rip. He's got Eric Anderson there. So Eric might be coming back a little bit to him right there.
Yeah, I got a new race leader in Chris Leftwich out here putting it down. We did not make our picks yet.
We did not make our picks yet.
Everything else besides that.
Well, at least now it's a little more shuffled up, so you don't have that stress of like, oh, I took the pole position guy or anything like that. But I'm going Seth Fitzpatrick. I think Seth gets his win tonight. I appreciate the way he rolls the dice a lot. This is a track where rolling the dice is either going to pay off huge benefits or it's going to really blow up in your face. And he seems to have done a really good job of rolling those dice this year. So I'm going Seth Fitzpatrick.
And I was actually going to go with Scott Bailey tonight, his teammate, who is just on a tear right now.
Scott Bailey.
What a name, too.
It's a racing name.
Yeah, I mean, rolls off the tongue well. Easy to say, you know. You can see it on a T-shirt.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is like half the part of being a driver. But Chris Leftwich definitely has a really fast machine here. I mean, he's got almost 0.4 of a second lead right now on Seth Fitzpatrick. Scott Bailey, another a little over a full second behind Seth Fitzpatrick. So it's going to be really curious to me to see how this all kind of plays out. I know we were talking earlier about how Kansas's tires. We're 11 laps into this run here.
Yeah.
Curious to see when we're going to start seeing some drop-off.
Zach Michael pushing it 3 wide on the top of Adam Thompson. Eric Wharman below Thompson.
Wharman all the way down there below that apron, brings it right back up.
You got to be careful
Still
about how.
3 wide.
Yeah, if you come up too high, you're going to hit the driver in front of you. But if you stay too low, you're not going to get a good turn into your corner. So it's going to slow you up. And Adam Thompson hits Jamie Horn.
Adam Thompson was using that 3 wide to kind of roll himself in. Oh, He was trying to get back up there on the track and had to slow way back down. He's going to lose a ton of space right there.
Everybody's bunching up, but good driving by everybody here. Props to everybody getting around that.
Yeah, Adam going to fall all the way back to 26 right there. He was trying to use that 3 wide to take himself right up there next to Jamie Horn. It was looking really, really good, but then the top side kind of evolved and it ended up being another 3 wide. And they were just too tight. On that 3 wide he'd been running before with Eric Wharman. Wharman was all the way below the apron and they had a little bit more room to breathe. And on that one, Jamie was just running the standard low side and it just got a little too tight.
Yeah, looking at Nick Alford trying to get around Jamie Horn right now. I don't think Jamie took damage from that.
I don't think either of them probably really took much damage. Just got a little bit loose. I don't even think anybody had to go through any John Deere Award activities either to get out of that one. But still really good driving. Definitely could have been an accident. And then good job at Adam to read as well when he was trying to come back up onto the track and almost caused a huge check up there for the low line. And he got out of it pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to look around Jamie's car now. I don't see any damage, but he was falling back just a little bit. I think with 3 wide again behind him. That's Mike Leftwich, Brian Messer, Jamie Horn. And Jamie is falling back quite a bit, down 10 spots now. And I mean, sometimes your car is not damaged, but your mentality's damaged just a little bit after a shake like that. You kind of get in such a rhythm. And something that throws you off. The car's not messed up at all, but it's just you kind of think about things a little bit more now. Well, hey, my car is actually a little looser than I thought it was, and just something that you didn't even cause, which I know I'm a victim of that quite often. I know I've talked to other drivers who feel the same way. I've had to tell me to get my head out of it. There's actually a viral video going around right now of Kyle Larson doing the same thing at a Charlotte race. So there's a lot of mentality that goes into this and how you think about things and keeping your head up going forward.
100%. And it could also just be as simple of a thing as maybe he didn't like how much he was burning him and wanted to fall back a little bit, but we have seen a lot of shuffling of positions both forward and back here tonight. Our third place driver, Jack Michael, started in 15th. Nick Alford, Hot Lap Heroes, started in 20th up to 9th. Brian Messer, who's running right there with Jamie Horn in that 55 Bass Pro machine, up from 28th to 13th. And you have guys like Jamie Horn, who you're saying just a second ago started in 2nd, now back in 12th. Steve Bonomo started 13th, back in 20th now. And probably the biggest drop of the night so far has been Adam Thompson from 8th to 25th.
And I don't think that's going to hinder him too much. I think Thompson will be right back up towards the front. Justin McMahon reaching around this high side here, trying to take Kevin Thompson's spot. Nick Alford's looking between them, kind of licking his lips a little bit, thinking he can take it. He might be trying to set it up. Just follow Justin McMahon right through. Man, it is tempting, though, when you see 2 cars split like that, one go high, one go low, and you know you're pretty fast. Like, oh, I could push this right now. But
I'm going to shoot the gap.
yeah. Is it necessary? No. Is it fun? Yes.
Would it be cool? Yes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh what? You can't just say uh-oh.
My whole screen just went blank here.
Oh, that's fun.
I believe we are back at it now.
Yeah, the stream just had the absolute scramblies there.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what you were talking about earlier. We've talked to some other leagues that we broadcasting and racing, and I feel like everybody's kind of had issues recently with stuff like that. I just see where Richard Leclerc has gone to pit road from a crash.
See a new battle up at the front. I know we were talking about it. We are 21 laps into this run. I think we are going to start seeing the tire difference in how you were able to save here starting coming into play here in the next probably 4 or 5 laps really seriously. But Seth Fitzpatrick now up there battling with Chris. They're side by side.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Richard Leclerc. Looks like he just kind of pulled off the track there and went to the pits, so...
And it looks like for a couple of those guys of our group that did not qualify, Josh Cully currently running in 28th. That's up a position from where he started. Michael Dow running 29th, again, a position up from where he started. Richard Leclerc has it on pit road. I believe he might have either had some internet issues or spun out on that first lap checkup. And it looks like Gary Maydew did a start and park. Currently have 29 cars on the lead lap and 1 car 2 laps down of Richard Leclerc.
And we're talking about being surprised by some drivers. Not really ever surprised when these drivers are up at the front. I know all these drivers have the potential to do it. I'm more surprised when certain drivers are near the back. Right now, Brian Dixon is one that catches my eye. This guy's pretty fast and usually has a good car, but hanging out near the back, maybe saving some tire, maybe sizing some people up. We'll see if he moves forward as the night goes on.
Yeah, and then right there next
Oh,
to
Gary Kloon gets around. No caution as of yet. Let us know if they call that over the radio. There it is. Caution flags out.
Yeah, no, it was going to be close. I mean, he was spinning across the track there in the beginning, but by the end of it, he was down there on the bottom. But Gary Kloon, our first car to go around.
Yeah, I think he got hooked by somebody or he came down on somebody. We're going to check a replay here in a second, but I just don't know if anybody called the caution for that because that was definitely a caution. It's different.
Gary ended up being the one that called it.
Yeah, but say if a car spins themselves, that's a little bit different in my book, you know, and you just kind of go to the infield, really no damage. But
if there's a causation, then
yeah,
normally they're going to throw one.
Going back to this replay here, looking at Gary Kloon in that 11 car, Nick Atwood in that 91 on the bottom. It looks like Gary got loose, gets into Simon, comes down. I can't see who that is who he hit there. It's not Michael Dow. It was Nicholas Shell there. Back this up just a little bit because I know 2 cars are very loose there at the same time. So we ride along here with Gary Kloon following Nicholas Atwood in that 91 car. Oh, Atwood got loose in front of him first. Then Gary kind of tapped him, which got him loose.
And then we go for a ride.
Yeah, hopefully not too much damage for Gary there.
And Nick Shell took a pretty good pop, though, so he's probably going to be dealing with some damage. Getting that thing fixed. Looks like he's working on that on pit road right now. It looks like pretty much everybody pitted except for the 34 machine of Zach Michael, who will now be your new race leader. Talk about some pit road strategy there. We've been talking all night so far about tires and how important tires are. He must be pretty confident in those 26 lap hole things that he can still stay out there and give it a run. But also you got to take into account the bonus points for leading a lap. So maybe that's what he's after, or he's just feels like he's got a rocket ship.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Let's see if it pays off for him. I love watching it when guys are, you can tell they're kind of rolling the dice or making a little bit of a risky play. I definitely feel like this is a risky play out of him, but hopefully it, like you said, hopefully it works out for him. But for the rest of the field, it'll be pretty similar to the way they went in, other than a little bit of shuffle that we had there with Zach Michael now taking the lead. So we'll be restarting with Seth Fitzpatrick in second, Shane Parrish in third, Scott Bailey in fourth, Chris Leftwich 5, Andrew St. Cor 6, Nick Alford 7, Justin McMahon 8, Jamie Horn 9, and Kevin Thompson 10 is how they will be coming across to this green flag. Can you see if there's anybody else that didn't pit on that last time by?
Looks like everybody hit pit road there. Everybody has hit pit road, except for Zach Michael. Now, this stage does end at lap 34. So maybe he's seeing if he can hold on. I mean, we'll go green at lap 28 here. That's a long time to hold on with old tires, but
Yeah, I was under saying, especially because it might be one thing if you're running a league where they throw the yellow for it, and okay, I've only got to hold on for 7 more laps, but there's no caution, so he's just going to be trying to stay out there. Would be a lot of bonus points, but here we go. We are restarted. Great jump out of Zach Michael. Low line had another check up there, but they are right back to racing. Andrew St. Cyr looked like he got a fast start and was right up there on the bumper of Shane Parrish. Shane Parrish immediately starts putting some speed on, though.
they're going to push it 3 wide to get around him. Zach Michael's going to be in the wall. Try not to bounce it off and go low. McMahon has to back off of him.
Oh, and yeah, he's touching the wall a lot there. And it's at this point where he starts thinking of deities to pray to for a caution, because this might get ugly.
Mike Leftwich coming up to the bumper quick, and this is what I was talking about earlier, getting boxed in, nowhere to go. Brian Messer kind of hold him down. Yeah, Brian Messer's on that low side, and it looks like Cameron King's going to follow through and parade on through. Leftwich is going to drop low.
For Leftwich, that's unfortunate. He had a really good run coming out of that turn, and you're basically just going to see everybody start making a parade around Zach Michael at this point. And they're 3 wide. Zach Michael on the top, almost 4 wide.
Oh, Bonomo almost got to the quarter of Michael. That's a really good move. Good driving.
Yeah, and they're all trying to parade around. Zach Michael almost in less than a lap, going to lose about 14 spots there. But again, I respect the roll in the dice. Wasn't sure that one was going to work out, but I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, you let a lap.
You let a lap, that's points. Someone else with an absolute head of steam right now, Scott Bailey. Just saw him get up to the bumper of Justin McMahon and pretty much fly right around there.
Yeah, looks like Chris Leftwich is also going to pass Justin McMahon here as well. And they're going to try to catch up to Andrew St. Cyr up in front of them. Sitting in 3rd place to try to take that podium spot. As of now, Fitzpatrick looking on the high side of Parrish. He might be able to squeeze up there.
And this is one of those battles that we saw earlier in the season. I believe it was Shane Parrish that ended up, it was Shane Parrish that ended up winning the race that Seth stayed out, and he ran like 18 seconds down. Fresh tires versus old tires.
Yeah, that was going to be at Homestead, Miami. Parrish taking the lead on the last turn, man. Coming to turn 3, makes the pass. They're kind of bumping down the backstretch. Parrish clears them in turn 3 and wins it, but it's been a fun little rivalry this season between them two. Not even a rivalry, just like a little friendly competition.
I was going to say, I think it might be a little bit of a stretch to say rivalry because, well, I mean, the word works, but normally you think of a rivalry as being like mean, and both of those guys are really, really nice. So
yeah, you think of it being like Yankees, Red Sox, Duke, UNC, Michigan, Ohio State. This is more like a, I don't even know, Braves, Brewers. Like both good teams. They're always competitive against each other, always competitive in the leagues, but not really rivals. Just always fun to watch.
Just always fun to watch. Seems like Adam Thompson's got his groove back a little bit. He's back up to 19th after falling all the way to 24th. Looks like he's trying to work his way back up through the pack again. We've got some really big movers out there on the track. Brian Messer currently running at 12th, started in 28th. You also got Nick Alford up there, started in 20th, moved his way up to 8th place as well. Jamie Horn's still kind of running it back there, right about the 9th or 10th spot. Started in 2nd, but has seemed pretty content to run there right around the tail end of that top 10 ever since that almost incident about 15 laps ago between him and Adam Thompson.
Yeah, and I'm watching Mike Leftwich here, trying to get around his son, actually, and teammate of Chris Leftwich. Looks like he's going to be able to do it, but he's running that high side, pushing it pretty hard. It's going to be fast for now, but I don't know how long he'll be able to keep doing that. He's moved up to 3rd place now.
Mike's got a rocket ship, and he has been letting the high side eat. But kind of like we were talking about a few minutes ago, I feel like for that to be consistent across this entire race, he's going to have to hope for a lot more cautions. Because otherwise, I mean, especially here at Kansas, you're looking at probably a 5 to 6 lap difference in tire wear across a green flag run.
Oh, he got
And as we say that, Mike Leftwich touches the wall right there.
It's going to give Chris the spot there. He's probably going to follow him through. And maybe they're doing a strategy where they get some track position here and then start taking that low line. I could see that happening. We're watching Justin McMahon behind him take the same line up on that high side. Not sure if that's by choice or if he's just trying to get around Alford for this one turn.
As we see a new race leader again in Chris Leftwich.
Nah, I don't think it's going to be for long.
It looks like Mike's coming for the position. He's yelling across the hall, son, I'm coming.
He's got it. See if Mike can get out here and lead this lap. Let's see if we can hop on board with Mike, too.
He is letting that high side eat, man.
Let her rip, baby.
And there's just such a huge difference in the line variation here. Like, you're seeing guys like Seth Fitzpatrick out there running third, going all the way to the bottom of the track almost as soon as he can. And you see Mike kind of drifting it right back up there to the high side.
Yeah, and I don't know how great the audio is, but you can hear the squealing of the tire as he was going around turn 3 and 4 there. And that's not his right front. That was more of his left rear sliding. It's going to make him very loose over the course of this run, especially trying to come out of these corners.
But especially if he continues to try to keep that high side going, that's when you start, again, over a longer green flag run, that's when you're going to start seeing guys that are trying to do the same thing they've been doing all race. They're in their groove, but now they're not able to hold it. Like you said, especially if it's that left rear that's gone, that's just going to want to throw your back end right up there into the wall.
Yeah, because the right rear really going to be pushing off as much as you can on out these turns. So that's going to be very useful, but a nice little remedy you could use. I mean, that's kind of a short-term remedy, and it's not going to help you over the long run, but he could start...
3 wide through the middle. Oh, big check up there.
He could start diving into the corner and kind of overdriving the corner a little bit, heating up that right front. That'll tighten it up just a little bit. And unfortunately, you're still burning both tires, but it kind of helps the balance of the car in the short term. Long term, your tires are still going to be worn out, but Mike's going to fall back pretty far now.
It looks like Mike might have lost a little bit of speed there, or maybe he's just trying to avoid burning him up too much, but he is still running that high side. I saw Justin McMahon in that 24 machine getting to the back of him just a little bit that last time by.
And now we got some good shakeup here. Jamie Horn moving into that 7th place spot right now. Justin McMahon trying to get around Mike as best he can. Nick Alford up here 15 spots, moved up tonight, sitting in P5. Andrew St. Cour back in 4th place.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be my next point. We're talking about these guys that are ripping the high side. Saw Nick Alford back there doing the exact same thing. It'd be very interesting to see how these guys are able to manage that over a longer run. It was around lap 25 that we had the caution, so about 18 laps into this green flag run, we started seeing a lot of fall off. About 22 last time by, so we will see how this starts to play out. Adam Thompson back up into 14th position. Brian Messer also working his way up. Worked his way into 15th.
Yeah, I mean, Alford's pushing it forward. He might try to go 3 wide here. He's going to hold back for a second. If I'm Alford, I'm... Ooh, everybody slid.
Oh, Andrew St. Cour's loose.
Everybody slid there. Somebody must put marbles on the track.
Somebody threw the banana peels out there. Yeah, I was looking at the front there. Andrew St. Cour got a little bit loose. Because of a big shake up there on the low side. Another guy that's kind of slipping back just a little bit right now is the number 6 of Kevin Thompson. Looks like he got loose. He's going to lose a couple spots. Jamie Horn worked his way up into 6th, though. He's now up there battling with that 15 machine and the 13.
Taking a look here at Zach Miller, part of that Horn Simpson race team. He is up 13 spots tonight, sitting in 11th place.
Meant to check back up really quick on our pit road strategy guys. Zach Michael, the number 34 machine, who started that last green flag restart in first place, is now our next to last car on the lead lap. This is going to be Zach Michael in 28th and then Gary Clune in 29th.
Yeah, I wonder if Gary Clune's still kind of dealing with some damage there.
Could definitely see that, but checking up at the front, we see that we do have Seth Fitzpatrick leading this thing by about a half a second over Shane Parrish. Nick Alford of the Hot Laps Heroes team running in third place up from 20th. I see that stack behind him of Chris Leftwich, Jamie Horn, Scott Bailey, and Andrew St. Cyr trying to work their way back up there.
You can see just about how far spread out these guys are getting. Some guys ripping that high side. Tony Martin there getting to it. Tony Martin's up to 16th place now, still working his way forward.
Oh, I forgot to even check. Who was the leader at our first stage?
I didn't even look either.
Is that Mike that went up there and stole that one, or? I should be able to go back and double check pretty easily. I'm a smart person.
While you're doing that, Nick Alford still pushing his way towards the front, trying that middle line now, kind of a moderate in between, saving and fast, but Shane Parrish is going to take over the lead from Seth Fitzpatrick, so another lead change tonight. I mean, Nick's fast. Nick is pulling right up behind him. Andrew St. Cyr has regrouped and right behind Scott Bailey, trying to make a move. Not going to get it done here. Behind him, we have Justin McMahon, Jamie Horn fighting for position, 6th and 7th place. I mean, your whole top 10's within 3 seconds of each other. Nice little slide there by Jamie Horn to get in front of Justin McMahon. Justice can give him a little tap.
Heard them coming over the radio and apologizing for the little love taps there. I believe Seth Fitzpatrick was the one that got our first stage.
Seth Fitzpatrick, your current points leader, still racking them up. Adding to his total. K-Doggy in the chat says, "Hey boys, what's going on, K-Doggy?"
Good to have you in here with us as always, but
speaking of K-Doggy, I just want to give a quick shout out to Trackside NASCAR Outlet, sponsor not just for our Thursday night series, but for pretty much Doghouse across the board. So shout out to Trackside NASCAR Outlet. I've actually got 3 cars from them the past few weeks, and they're taking my money, but it's for a good thing, because this diecast stuff is kind of a addicting business to get into, man. You get one, you feel like you gotta get 2 or 3. So I'm about to get another one soon. Yeah, I'm about to get another one soon.
And we're really starting to see these guys spread out, which I think you're going to start seeing on these longer green flag runs, because at this point it's all in who can either save the tire or who can run it really loose. And definitely seeing Shane Parrish build out his lead right now up to half a second out on Nick Alford. Seth Fitzpatrick still running there within a second. But I mean, that's where it starts really starting to spread out.
Yeah, watch it.
Guys.
Brian Messer right here and Eric Wharman on the inside of Nick Atwood, Tony Martin. Tony Martin gets a little loose. Eric Anderson, that 43 machine, gets into the wall back there. They're trying to make some moves, shake it up right here.
So it looks like Mike might have decided either he burnt him up a little too quick or he's just trying to sit back a little bit more. He's back in the 12th position now.
They are looking 3 wide here for a second. Between Eric Wharman, Nicholas Atwood, Zach Miller. Not going to do it here.
Looks like Mike was able to shoot the gap right there. Look who has found themselves back in the top 10. It is Adam Thompson. Worked his way back up from a mishap earlier in the race.
Ooh.
Him and Jamie Horn almost got together.
Little accordion there between Zach Michael and, or not Zach Michael, Zach Miller and Mike Leftwich. Kind of a hit the wall, check up kind of deal there. That's going to slow them up just a little bit. Eric Wharman trying to get around. Cameron King's a good guy to go with.
That's going to take it 3 wide. 3 wide. Zach Miller on the high side. Mike Leftwich, the meat and the sandwich. And they're both able to work their way around him right there.
Good little bump there by Brian Messer to Eric Wharman, trying to get him pushed along.
Look at the side-by-side races out of Bonomo and Brian Dixon.
He's got
Doggy in the chat saying, just getting home, want to race more. Shh, don't say it too loud. The wife may find out I bought more.
Yeah, I got to keep that a secret. I know exactly what you mean. And if my wife is watching, no, I didn't buy another one.
Absolutely not. Also, don't look at the Wells Fargo.
I justify it though, man. They support the league. You know, it's for a good cause. You know, they're helping us out, help them out. Go check out Trackside NASCAR Outlet. I mean, they got some good stuff. Here, yeah, they got good stuff, and they are what's the word I'm looking for? Lionel, the official diecast people now for NASCAR, like certified seller, approved seller. You know what I'm trying to say? Authorized dealer of Lionel products, so you can get official products from Lionel from there. So good prices too. Can't beat it. Check them out. Back to racing here. Shane Parrish trying to get around a lap car. Gary Clune probably dealing with some damage still. Nick Alford is taking over that second place spot. Up 18 spots tonight. Still ripping the mid line here. Not too high, not too low. Using that seam to help his car rotate. Let's go back to Seth Fitzpatrick, who has his teammate of Scott Bailey fresh on his heels, making a pass here.
Someone else to keep an eye on. I know we talked about it before the race, but they're up a couple spots, and we talked about it. Sitting in the back here at Kansas is definitely not the worst idea, especially if you can keep it straight and in one piece. Josh Cully up 8 spots and about to crack the top 20.
Are you surprised?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, he'll be up there in 5th place before this thing's over with.
After a good battle there, Adam Thompson able to work his way around the 91 to Nick Atwood. Now looking to the 24 of Justin McMahon, but everyone's still trying to catch up to Shane Parrish. Built his lead up to 7/10 of a second. Seth Fitzpatrick still there in 3rd. Nick Alford in 2nd. Scott Bailey now coming up and making the pass on Seth Fitzpatrick to get that top 3.
And the way these cars are running right now, I think St. Coeur might have a good run before they have to pit again to catch this probably 3rd place spot.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's probably maybe 10 to 12 more laps before you're starting seeing guys come down for the green flag stops, at least based on gas. Definitely don't know what it's going to look like totally based on tire wear, but
yeah, pulling up the deltas here between Seth Fitzpatrick and Andrew St. Coeur. Fitzpatrick has gained almost a full second in the past 6 laps on Fitzpatrick here.
I think this is where you're going to start seeing some of those guys, St. Coeur, Jamie Horn, who might have done a little more saving earlier in this run, be able to start working their way back up. I know Chris was kind of burning them up a little bit earlier. Saw Kevin get a little bit loose earlier, but he seems to have kind of settled down. And you got Justin McMahon and Adam Thompson, and Adam Thompson looks like he's going to be making a run here on the 24 machine.
I thought I just saw smoke, but I don't think I did. I did see smoke. Where's he at? Chris Leftwich. No caution is out. I was about to say for a second I saw a haze go across the screen. Catch back up with this action going on really quick. And then we'll see if we can flash back to that accident and see what happened. Chris Leftwich is now sitting on pit lane. They're going to take it 3 wide right here. Atwood in the middle. Thompson on the bottom.
Yeah, here's where things start to get interesting. Now you're starting to have these better lap cars out here with good runs, and these guys that might be on the older tires, they still have speed, so they're still trying to get it figured out.
Look at Eric Wharman coming up too, trying to get involved. I talked about this guy earlier, Brian Dixon. Never surprised to see a guy up here in the front in this league, because I know anybody in this league can do it on any given Sunday, but always surprised to see some people in the back. Brian Dixon's too fast to be back there, and now look at him working his way up. He's up 11 spots, sitting in 12th place right now, looking for more.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did just see it looked like Adam Thompson was going to be able to make that pass on Justin McMahon. He had a great run coming out of there. Then he had looks like he had a little too quickly onto the apron. That thing got really loose on him, and now it's looking like Wharman and Dixon might be able to get around him.
Scott Bailey and Nick Alford going at it right now, too. Trying to pull up a delta between those two guys. You can see that Nick Alford has been falling back to Scott Bailey little by little here.
Now you've got Andrew St. Cyr and Jamie Horn up there in that mix as well. All the while, Shane Parrish just keeps building out the lead. Lead is over 2 seconds now for Shane Parrish. Yeah. Gotta wonder how hard he's running it.
And I don't know if this is just you or me, but I got Nick Alford blinking a whole lot on my side.
I got him blinking a couple of times. Yeah, maybe not quite as bad, but he's definitely got something, a little internet thing going on right there. Well, Seth Fitzpatrick now back in 6th.
If we both see it, then I know Scott Bailey sees it, and that's probably affecting some of his run. Yeah, I have him blinking out again. There's a caution out. Adam Thompson. Nick Alford able to hold on to that spot. Saved by the bell.
I think we're going to see, unless we see some strategies like we saw last time, which I think we probably figured out wasn't a super duper great idea. But definitely think we're going to be seeing everybody bring it down here. I'm not seeing too much damage on that car of Adam Thompson.
Nope, he tried to slide it, or not slide it, try to get into pit road and just ended up sliding it down. I think he was trying to get back on track, turning around there, and ended up caution coming out for that. Let's go back to Chris Leftwich from earlier, as promised here. Yeah, Chris gets loose coming off of turn 2 and spins it around. That was the smoke that I saw. Taps the wall with that left front. Able to drive it off, but definitely not what he's looking for. If he's looking for anything, it was not that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we were talking about him and Mike a little bit earlier on. They were running it so hard in the beginning of that run. The tires are just going to really start to give out on you.
We'll pull up the pit times at the bottom here for everybody hitting pit road. Looks like everybody's going to be taking 4 tires on this stop here.
It's like Gary Clune is out there on track getting his lap back. So we have a couple guys out there. I'm not sure if they're getting a wave around or...
Like Joe McKnight beats Thompson off pit road. Gains a few spots. That's something I know I've talked to you about just from when you were spotting me too. This league is so competitive that sometimes it feels like you have to win based off your pit road, not just your strategy, just how you enter pit road and how you enter your pits, how you exit your pits, you know, because little mistakes like that can cost you seconds in a race. And I have definitely been beat that way quite a few times this season, especially by this man right here and Chris Simon. I can't remember which race it was, but it was just a few weeks ago. Me and him were battling out. He ended up having a fantastic pit entry, pit stop, pit exit, and pulled away from me by about 3 seconds just off of the pit road. We were right behind each other coming in. I just, not as good as he was.
Especially at a track like Kansas, like you were talking about, where it is so competitive out there. Your pit, how you do on pit road is definitely going to come into play, and how you're able to finish here. Did hear Adam Thompson come over the radio and take the EOL for that caution. He was basically just like, it was kind of a self-spin, but I'm the reason it came out, so it was probably going to be pretty close to the end of the line anyway, but still sporting call out of him to take that. On lap 72 right now. Lap 67 was our last stage that we have here tonight. That will obviously go to Shane Parrish. I believe he was in the lead by about 3 seconds at that point. Now that everything's cinched back up, though, I'll be very curious to see what kind of run these guys are able to get with the last about 67, 68 laps here.
I think Cord pushing Nick Offord up.
Immediately to his bumper, helping push there. Shane Parrish got off to an excellent restart, but high side immediately able to pick some heat back up. Scott Bailey right on that bumper of Shane Parrish. Little bump there. Heard Shane come over the radio and say thank you. Really fast movement there out of that 15 machine to Nick Alford, though.
Yeah, he's been fast all season, man, too. Just getting it done. I'm still having some connectivity issues with him on my side, at least.
He's blinking out a little bit there, but
yeah,
maybe very curious to see how these guys decide to try to make this run here. I think pretty much, I mean, everybody's going to have to pit at least one more time regardless. But at this point, do you try to kind of stay up there right on the bumper of Shane Parrish and hope that either you can stay with him? I mean, Shane Parrish is obviously a very good driver, knows how to drive. Just hope that you can do the same things he does and stick with him. Or are you going to try to fall back here a little bit? Make sure that you stay even in case it is a long green flag run and try to get him to the end of that.
Gracious. Steven Bonomo gets tapped by Tony Martin. He's going to be spun around. Gets into Cameron King. Caution's going to be out for that. Those guys got 3 wide between each other. I believe Brian Messer was on the bottom side of that as well. Tony Martin kind of got caught as the meat and sandwich there and trying to hold it together. They held it together pretty well, but coming into that corner is a little tough. Just barely spun Steven Bonomo. Back that up just a little bit because I would like to ride along with Tony Martin so we can see what he's seeing going through here.
I think they're kind of going back and forth right now on who's going to take the EOL there.
Oh, if I'm looking at it from this angle here, man, let's try to get right behind them and see what we see from seeing. That's tough, man. That's a racing incident there in my book. Looked like a little bit of netcode got them hooked up initially. Tony Martin trying to help him get it back around.
That definitely looks netcody there at the start. But it's even hard to see on that angle if it was Bonomo trying to come down because he thought he was clear, or if Martin came up a little bit. It didn't look like Martin moved, but I'm I'm honestly pretty comfortable just chalking that up to a net code. 92 machine getting winged there as well.
Yeah, 92 over there is in the grass. If I could find out where he was. Try to back this up just a little bit as well. He almost made it through and got clipped right on the back end. I don't know if he's got tire damage from that. So he's trying to steer it through that grass. I know that ain't easy.
Just as an update as well on that note, looks like Kevin Thompson is going to be our first car a lap down. And then Michael Dow also a lap down in 27th. And then it looks like from 28th back have called it a night. Cameron King called it a night. Chris Leftwich has also decided to retire from this one, as has Richard Leclerc.
Yeah, going back to his cockpit camera there for Cameron King, it looked like something was broke there. Steering wheel was facing about 2 o'clock position as he was getting on that straightaway. So unfortunate for him, almost avoided it. But again, sometimes it feels like these cars, man, are just paper mache.
Yeah, I remember, I think, spotting a race for you where we got in a little bit of trouble, and it looked to me like we just bumped the wall, and I was trying to be reassuring, be like, oh, we're fine. Like, we can get out of this one, no problem. And you go and try to get off the wall, and the steering wheel doesn't work, and it's like, uh-oh. Yeah. Toe link.
But with that said, I do like these cars. I know that's unpopular opinion, and I've said it before. As we're about to get back green here with Shane Parrish leading off on the inside, Jamie Horn on the outside. Scott Bailey following right through with a good jump behind Shane Parrish.
Yep, back to green flag racing here. Lap 79 of 134 here in the MARSS Properties 201. Great jump by both Shane and Scott there. Jamie Horn going to the inside lane.
This is going to be a really good finish if it goes down like this, man.
Oh, and we got some movement in the middle of that pack.
Oh, Scott Bailey gets into Shane Parrish a little bit, moves him out of the way. His teammate...
Seth Fitzpatrick up in the wall.
Yeah, teammate Seth Fitzpatrick in the wall. Looks like Eric Anderson got a little bit of Zach Miller there. Adam Thompson trying to move to the inside, take advantage of all this. From an EOL to the front.
Looks like he was able to do it there, but we were sliding all over the place there.
Haven't really talked much about Eric Anderson tonight, but had a really good finish there at Bristol. I believe it was P5 for him at Bristol. Just a good run. I mean, that's a hard track, especially in this league, to go up there to the front. But Eric's a guy that works really hard at it, puts in the time, puts in the effort, and showing out here tonight.
100%, and looks like everything's got really shuffled up there on that. The last big bunch of movement. Shane Parrish now dropped back to the 7th position. He's on the nose of Adam Thompson there. Jamie Horn, your new race leader, up there with Scott Bailey. It's like Scott Bailey has gotten around Jamie there as well. So new race leader Scott Bailey.
Oh, Joe McKnight going through the grass. Keeping it straight.
That's a John Deere award. Oh, couldn't get it back onto the pavement, but he's still down there at the apron.
Hey, good on him for saving that, though, because he could have let that spin and let a caution come out. I respect that.
Absolutely. And then another update here, an unfortunate for what looked like it was going to be a really good driver here tonight. Nick Alford looks like might have had some internet issues and is off the track.
Parrish jumps right down in front of Thompson. Thompson gives him a little bit of bump there just to let him know he's there. They're going to move behind him. Eric Wharman trying to get around that high side. Brian Dixon, we talked about him earlier, pushing up. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe last season Brian Dixon and his team was showing out here at this track.
Shane Parrish using all of the track there, went from the high line all the way to the apron. Those three just really battling it out for position right there.
And you see Adam Thompson there. We talked to him in our warm-up session about the line he was going to use. He could have easily followed Brian Dixon to get around there, but chooses to go with the low line, save some tire. Could be a smart move that plays out later in this race. He's going to have to use a little bit higher line here to get around Shane Parrish.
Yeah, like we talked about, it's just going to be playing to the run here, and I guess you're trying to calculate what is going to happen next. Because, I mean, they're going to have to pit again regardless for gas. So just planning out how you're going to run your tire run here. You've got one more, assumably you got one more set back there on the other side of the pits. So now it's just going out there and see what you can do in the time, whatever sort of time you have. I believe we would have to get to about lap 95 for these guys to not have to pit again for gas.
Look at Adam Thompson making a run to the top of it here too. Putting it down, took the EOL earlier, now up in 5th place, right behind him, up 23 spots. You called it earlier, Josh Cully.
The man's a silent assassin, I'm telling you what. I think most of these races he doesn't even go down and put a qualifying time in, but he just comes out here and just runs the dog out of it. And I don't really see him ever getting in incidents. Just kind of goes out there and runs it. So got the 11 machine and Gary Clune back up there in 10th spot after some trouble earlier on tonight. Good for him for getting back up there.
Yeah, I remember him being fast in practice and put down a really good qualifying time as well.
Jamie Horn up there looking to the low side of Scott Bailey, trying to get that first position back. Adam Thompson knocking on the door of Andrew St. Cord there in 3rd place. I wonder if, I didn't see anything happen to Shane Parrish. I wonder if maybe he just decided to drop back for position or maybe save a little bit of tire.
Yeah, I mean, he might be saving, but I think a lot of it really goes back to that mentality thing. You get kind of thrown off your groove for a second. It takes a little bit to get back into it. And I mean, you know your car is fast, but I don't know.
Did he get thrown off his groove? I didn't see it.
Yeah, he did. He got bumped a little bit by Scott Bailey, pushed him back just a little bit, washed up to the high side, kind of hit Seth Fitzpatrick, pushed him up too. Well, I'm not sure if he hit Seth Fitzpatrick, but I know it caused Fitzpatrick to wash up and hit the wall. Fitzpatrick's now sitting back in 16th place, but trying to make an analogy to something I know about, which is in the medical field, and you see a lot of people come in with, like, maybe they're having chest pain, but when they start talking to somebody now I'm noticing like my feet hurt, my legs hurt, and you start adding on all these things. Well, yeah, my head does kind of hurt, and that's kind of the same thing here. Is, well, now I get washed back a little bit. Well, I am noticing my car is a little bit looser, and this turn here does have that bump that's been throwing me off. So you start thinking about things just a little bit more. And it just takes a little bit to realize, hey, I'm a fast driver. I've been up front all night. I can be up there again. And I think you'll see him back up just like Jamie Horn here.
Yeah, 100%. And Jamie Horn up there racing with Scott Bailey for that lead. Andrew St. Corbin, very, very consistent tonight. Still out there running it in 3rd place. Adam Thompson. Oh, no! That's Brian Dixon. That's Justin McMahon. I couldn't fully see it. I saw Dixon going across the nose of McMahon. I don't know if it was that McMahon got into him or if Dixon tried to close the door. But it looks like just those two guys involved.
You can see some damage to Justin McMahon's car. I think Dixon started that turn maybe just a little earlier. Thinking that McMahon was going to come down a little bit earlier as well.
What a move by the 91 there as well of Nick Atwood. Here's where we're going to start seeing some strategy. Brian Dixon bringing it down pit road. Josh Cully bringing it down. Looks like most everybody else keeping it out there on the track. Seth Fitzpatrick comes down. Daniel Wilkerson.
I don't know, man. That was close. If that is another netcode issue, I swear. Looks like Dixon thought that he was going to start that turn just a little bit earlier than he did and came down just a hair, but McMahon trying to get that thing fixed up and throw it back out there.
Yep, and that was I mean, it looks like it's a little net code involved as well with that. That's just tough.
Yeah, I think Dixon just kind of thought that he was going to start that turn earlier. And I don't know how McMahon was driving that corner before, if that was something that he was kind of speculating there, but they were racing pretty hard.
Yeah, Justin did end up taking the EOL for that one. I did just hear some funny conversations come over the radio. Eric Anderson has been racing really hard with Eric Wharman most of the night. She came on the radio and said, "Hey, Wharman, you ever going to make a mistake?"
I wonder the same thing.
I said, we've watched Eric Wharman for a long time. Probably not.
Yeah, the guy is consistent, does not make a lot of mistakes.
So now we're in a little bit of a funny spot here because we're about 20 laps into this last green flag run. Most of these guys didn't pit. And I actually just heard Wharman again come over the radio. Said he said, "Honestly, I'm a little scared what this is going to look like in 10 laps if this stays green."
That's interesting.
Because you also have the issue at this point of none of these guys, other than maybe the people that just came down pit road, can make it to the end. I mean, you're looking at right at 42-ish laps for the guys that just came down pit road. I know we heard from Adam in the beginning of the race that he thinks these guys probably have 40 to 45 in the tank, but either way, we are restarting here. Lap 95. Big jump for Jamie Horn. Shane Parrish immediately looking to that inside of Adam Thompson. Shane Parrish and Adam Thompson go into that side by side. Looks like Thompson might have the run coming out. Zachary Miller letting that high side work. He's trying to work. Got Nick Atwood up there as well. Adam Thompson working the high side, trying to get around that third place car of Andrew St. Cyr. Almost going to take it 3 wide. Scott Bailey trying to work his way around there. They're stacked up 3 on top of the track. Oh, that was close. St. Cyr has to wash up the track. Big check up there.
Scott Bailey with a big jump to the bottom side, trying to get around here.
Andrew St. Cyr got a little bit loose there in the middle of the track, and it almost got up into that 90 of Zach Miller.
He's going to wash back just a little bit here, but looking at Gary Kloon back here, who has moved up, sitting in front of Eric Wharman. Eric Wharman's trying to make a move on the inside of him here. Oh, kind of washes up just a little bit, has to hit the brakes and back off for a second, regroup. Somebody's in the wall.
Thompson and Scott Bailey got into the wall there. Just got a little too close.
Shane Parrish back up here at the front.
And they're going to race that side by side, still chasing that 98 machine to Jamie Horn. Gary Clune going to take it 3 wide through the
Yeah,
middle.
Atwood's loose. He holds on to it.
Shane Parrish goes all the way onto the apron to make the pass around Jamie Horn. Adam Thompson still up there on the high side. Now he's going to be trying to make the pass.
Kind of diamonds that corner out of there, trying to get a good run. He does have a good run coming up here. He could make a pass on the high side if he can make it stick. Tries to stay low. Good strategy, save a little bit of tire. I believe Josh Cully was one of the people that took tires on that last stop. He's back up to 13th place now, battling out, but there is a battle going on up at front. There's battles going on back here in the middle of the pack. See Eric Anderson, Joe McKnight, Just McMahon, Zach Michael, Nick Shell. 3 wide right now. Josh Cully looking to the inside here.
Yeah, I mean, like you just talked about, he's on fresh tires. So, I mean, he's going to have an absolute rocket ship right now.
Good
Especially
gracious.
here where he's going to be coming up into, and this is where he needs to be careful. He's going to be running into a lot of cars who are on older tires who are already loose. We just saw Andrew St. Clair there get loose a few laps ago. That's what made him fall back there to about 10th.
St.
3
Clair.
wide.
Oh, that looked like some netco between him and Brian Messer as Brian Messer goes to the bottom of the track. Able to save it. Brian Dixon making a run.
He is a man on a mission there, and he had to work his way around. Josh Cully just looking for his opening to get around Andrew St. Clair and Nicholas Atwood. I think he's kind of trapped right in there.
Cully's the only one in the top 10 that did take fresh tires, so he is moving up right now. Looking back just a little bit, Just McMahon, Brian Dixon also on fresh tires, Daniel Wilkerson.
St. Clair really loose again.
Oh, that's Scott Bailey. Shane Parrish in the grass. Shane Parrish comes up in the middle. Gary Clune gets around him. Trying to. Gary Clune's loose.
That was a way to get back up on the track.
That was a way to get back up on the track. Jamie Horn gets around Adam Thompson here at the front. Just a lot of racing going on right now.
Yeah, and they're 3 wide back there in the back, trying to get around Andrew St. Clair as well. Brian Dixon pushing Gary Clune.
Gets into Scott Bailey. They're all going to get jumbled up here. Daniel's making a run there on the high side around St. Clair.
Yeah, they were getting a little chippy over the radio for a second, which is why we have, I guess, me as the anger translator. Think that Scott Bailey wasn't too happy with Shane Parrish and the way he was racing right there, and then a lot of people weren't happy with how Scott Bailey got back up onto the track, and they were kind of going back and forth. And then I heard someone come over the radio and be like, "Hey, we are driving like words back here in the back. Can y'all shut up on the radio, please?" And then Jamie was like, "Yeah, can everyone just kind of be a little bit more quiet on the radio, please?" And then I heard Adam Thompson be like, "Well, hey, Jamie, can you get off the throttle, please?"
Scott Bailey trying to push it around St. Clair right here. They're coming. St. Clair is flying up to his teammate, Gary Clune. Getting around that low side. A lot of good race on the up here at the front. Wharman has fell back a little bit. He was in P3 a second ago and falling back. Daniel Wilkerson up 13 spots tonight. 12 spots in 7th place.
See Shane working his way back up there right now. Now it's Justin McMahon. Saw him in some trouble earlier, but right back up there. Fighting with Jamie Horn for the lead, but then you got that car of Josh Cully up there with the fresh tires.
Yeah, look at McMahon, though, pushing his way up. Trying to pick up a lap lead here.
He's going to have to race Josh Cully for it.
McMahon and Cully are on the same tires here. Wilkerson also, same tire strategy.
I think Cully got that one.
I believe you're right.
That might be his first lap led that I've seen, but whether it's his first lap led or not, still a show of a very impressive season so far for Josh Cully.
What's scary about this whole situation right here is how well Jamie Horn is running, with tires much older than the two guys in front of him and one of the guys behind him.
Much older for sure. And now you got Shane Parrish up there in fourth. He's worked his way back up from where that slide happened a few laps ago. Daniel Wilkerson right behind him. I believe he's got some fresh tires as well. Adam Thompson now falling back to 6. Now we're really starting to see the old tire versus new tire start to play out. Man, if we get another caution, the strategy is going to be wild.
Josh Cully kind of pulling away with it here. If you're Justin McMahon, you're kind of probably thinking that you need to save just a little bit. Hope that Cully burns it off and take him there at the end. I don't see McMahon staying behind Jamie Horn for very long.
And the only thing you got to think about, too, is also those guys that pitted. Their tires are going to be toast by the end of the race, but they might maybe be able to make it on fuel. But the guys that haven't pitted yet definitely can't.
Fitzpatrick super loose coming around that corner there. Right in front of Nick Shell there. Brian Messer trying to get through Gary Clune on the bottom side. Rode that bottom apron all the way around. You can see just how bad that low entry got Gary Clune. Pushed him all the way back. And Gary Clune is really loose back here. Able to save it, keep it straight.
We're definitely seeing a lot more slipping and sliding out here now, especially with these older tires. And these guys who are on probably the longest green flag run tires we've had really are praying for a caution right now. And the guys that already did come down pit road are praying for the opposite.
Yeah, so it looks like Parrish and Horn last pitted 41 laps ago. Cully and McMahon 19 laps ago. Wilkerson also 19 laps ago.
So, I mean, that's a huge difference. And like you were talking about, for guys like Parrish and Horn, it's still super impressive to see that they're able to run with guys who have, 20 lap fresher tires than they do. But again, the difference is that the guys who haven't pitted yet, I mean, they've probably got, 5-10 laps of gas, maybe?
Trying to do some math in my head, man, and it's just not working when you throw me these questions like this. Can't pull up Chat GPT that quick.
Long story short,
math is hard.
Gas make car go. They don't have much gas.
Yeah. You think I'm a walking TI-83 over here?
I've touched one of those since my SAT.
I used to have games on mine. Oh,
You got games on your calculator?
absolutely. Shout out to Texas Instruments.
Oh, big clump back here at the back of the track. Looks like Nick Atwood losing a ton of speed. A lot of people having to dodge around him right there. Really starting to see some fall off on these old tires. Adam Thompson back to 11th, and now Scott Bailey back to 10th.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick
Eric
has fell
Anderson
back
to
a lot.
16th.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick's back quite a bit there. Brian Messer trying to get around almost 3 wide. I'm impressed the way these guys are driving out of 4 and coming around this front stretch here.
I'm still blown away that Jamie Horn and Shane Parrish are hanging so well with McMahon and Cully, given the difference in tires. I mean, Shane Parrish is out there making a run on Justin McMahon. I know Justin was in that accident earlier, so I don't know if he might still have any leftover damage. I feel like he's highly got at least most of it fixed.
Well, now we're kind of dividing this race into 2 categories almost. Guys that want it to stay green and guys that are praying for a yellow flag right now. If a caution does come out, that puts guys like Shane Parrish, Jamie Horn, I believe Eric Wharman did not pit either. Yeah, in a great position to get tires and just drive up to the front. Also, you got guys like Daniel Wilkerson, who's just making this pass around Jamie Horn for 4th place, praying that this thing stays green. Nobody wreck. Keep it clean.
I'm not mistaken. I did just hear Jamie Horn come over the radio and say that he's going to be bringing it down.
I talked to Jamie Horn after a race on Monday night where he had a similar strategy to what he is doing tonight. Said that he was experimenting with a few things, trying out some different strategies, but I get where the strategy is at, though. Because if a caution does come out, this is pretty much sealed to win for either Parrish or Jamie Horn or some of these other guys that have not pitted that can take tires and drive it out. But Shane Parrish moving around Justin McMahon right now.
On 50-lap old tires. That's kind of nuts.
Josh Cully is just letting it rip up there.
And I don't blame him at all. If I'm Josh Cully at this point, I'm completely bought in on I need this thing to stay green. If it stays green, you're in a good spot anyways. If it doesn't stay green, you're probably up a creek, given the fact that everyone else is at that point it's going to switch over and everyone's going to have 25, 28 lap newer tires than you. But I mean, realistically, I don't think that the guys who haven't pit yet can even make it on gas. So, but if I'm them, I don't want to pit too early.
Exactly.
Because then I'm going to lose a ton of position. But if you pit too late, you're not going to have time to use the fresh tires. And especially as we come up to, what, 13 to go?
Yeah, and I've got the deltas up right here, and Cully is kind of making some time on Parrish, but kind of sticking around that 1.6, 1.7 margin. I mean, as long as he's holding right there, he's pretty safe. He can kind of conserve. If he starts making that gap bigger, you might see him slow up a little bit to make it smaller to make sure he is saving that tire. But I think by like lap 5, 3 to go, maybe, you just got to sell out, and you just got to send it. Because these guys 100%. Like Justin McMahon that might be saving a little bit more here could be looking for something like that and then catch up pretty quickly.
100%. And then, I mean, you see those guys up front that are really, really spread out, and you're thinking, oh, there's no caution that's really going to happen there. But then you go back around the 10th, about 10th to 15th, and these guys are racing back here. It is not nearly as spread out. These guys still jumping all over the place for the position. If you're one of those guys that's praying for a caution, that's where it's going to happen.
Yeah, and Cully's made up about a second on Justin McMahon in the past 6 laps here. Justin's fighting right here with Daniel Wilkerson.
Just got to think Justin's either trying to save a little bit or it might be a little burnt up on him, but we will see.
I have noticed he is running that high side up there, and Daniel's going to make that pass, moving to 3rd place for a podium spot as of right now with 11 to go.
And see, now you're at the point, and maybe I was just completely wrong on my fuel estimations, but now you're at the point where even if you do go get fresh tires over a green flag while you're getting gas to make it, I'm not even sure how much time you're going to be able to make up, because I mean, realistically, you're probably going to go a lap down, and if you don't, you're 30 seconds off pace.
Yeah, I mean, you got to sell out at this point. Pitting here is going to end your night for sure. These guys are 3 wide still here in the back, fighting for every position they can possibly get. That's Nick Shell in the middle, going to fall back a little bit. Scott Bailey getting around. Good move around Zach Michael.
Yeah, love still seeing the fight out of these guys back here. You're still 12 seconds behind the leaders, but still fighting for position. Have Kermit in the comments saying a late caution would be fun. I think to some people it would be, and to others it would really, really not be.
Yeah, one person would not be fun for is Daniel Wilkerson, man. Looking for a really good finish here, probably. I think this will be his best finish of the season up here in the top 3. And we talked about it earlier in practice. This is a place he could do it. He's the admin for the league that runs race control during the races as well. Definitely got his hands full, which I am convinced that contributes to where he finishes sometimes, because he is trying to drive and do other things at the same time and cannot focus on the race. But, I mean, he's coming out here and just showing out right now.
He really is. And something else I need to take a look at here is Shane Parrish gaining time on Josh Cully?
Pulling up the deltas right now, he is gaining time right now. He has gained about, probably about 5/10 over the past 6 laps. I mean, this is Shane Parrish fashion right here.
Yeah, but normally it's Shane Parrish fashion when he's got fresh tires. How old are his tires?
Pulling up his pit stop or his stint length right now. Parrish has been out there for 57 laps on those tires, and Cully has been out probably about 35 laps at this point, assuming that he took tires after that second stop. Because there is a break where he pitted on the same lap as Parrish, but he also pitted again 35 laps ago. So I'm not sure when he took tires.
This is about to get interesting. That lead has closed every single lap by 0.7 of a second now separating Shane Parrish and Josh Cully. Daniel Wilkerson about 2.6 seconds back. Jamie Horn 3-1. Justin McMahon 3-8.
Yeah, it's looking like Parrish is leaving Daniel Wilkerson right now. Wilkerson is kind of maintaining that gap in front of Jamie Horn. Jamie Horn is kind of pulling away from Justin McMahon. And looking back at Eric Wharman trying to make that pass. Eric Wharman has been catching up here. Running that high side. Trying to get a good run out. He might try to make this pass here.
He must have saved something in the tank if he's still able to let that high side rip. Shane Parrish all the way back up to Josh Cully on his bumper now. Is Cully going to have anything to fight him off with?
He's going to have to hold him off for 4 laps, and that is going to be tough. Got to protect that low side if he is going to do it, though. Got to protect the low side.
It looks like Parrish got his nose in there really, really well.
Cully's going to get into the wall there. That's going to give Shane Parrish lead.
Chances.
Yeah, that's not good.
Shane Parrish, your new race leader. Mars Properties on the car, Mars Properties on the banner outside the track.
Eric Wharman gets around Justin McMahon, put him in a P5 spot.
Jamie Horn also coming up really hot to the bumper of Daniel Wilkerson. Is he going to try to get up here and get this top 3?
Jamie is letting it rip right now on that high side. And he has been gaining just a little bit.
We are coming up on a little bit of lap traffic here, but I think it's just 1 or 2 cars. Nothing's really going to slow anybody down.
Jamie's going for the
1
pass.
to go this time by.
Jamie's going to get the pass here. Oh, not so fast. Wilkerson with a great run on that high side.
One to go, 1 to go, 1 to go.
Daniel up in the wall, still has the spot. Horn's going to fall back just a little bit.
Up at the front. Shane Parrish almost 3/10 on Josh Cully. Is Cully going to have anything left over the final backstretch to chase him down?
Not there. Shane Parrish is going to be your winner of the Mars Property 201. Back-to-back. Josh Cully, 2nd place. Daniel Wilkerson, 3rd place on a podium finish. Josh Cully up 27 spots tonight. Daniel Wilkerson up 16 spots tonight for that 2nd and 3rd place. Little love bump from them two there. That was some good racing out of them. Eric Wharman going to take home P5 in front of Justin McMahon.
What a run there.
And look at Tony Morton coming to P8.
Yeah, great run out of Tony Martin. We talked about it. He had great practice times. Came out here, drove it up from 18th to 8th, so big night for him. K Doggy saying nice run, Daniel. Daniel getting his first podium finish of the Group 6 Cup Series this year. Josh Cully again with a really good run, bringing it up from all the way at the back, bringing it up there, getting a second place finish, but not able to hold off the celebrating Shane Parrish here at the end. First 4 race winner of the Group 6 Cup Series here, and back-to-back winner. Shane Parrish fast all night, had a little bit of incidents kind of come up here and there, but still able to get up there, drive down Josh Cully very, very carefully, very, very safely, able to make the pass and hold him off by almost 0.3 of a second there at the end. What a run by Shane again.
Yeah, almost like he timed it up. We've seen that out of Shane Parrish a few times this season, where he's just waiting, timing it up, and hits it just right. I mean, good run by him. Did you say that was his 4th win this season?
I believe that's correct, isn't it?
I'm trying to think right off the top of my head. I know we got, was it Phoenix? It was Homestead, Miami. It was last week. And I don't think it was Phoenix. Might have been Phoenix. I'll have to look it up here as we get these guys up to the booth. But while I'm doing that, would you like to read off our race results and I can look up some of these stats?
I can do that for you. Again, Shane Parrish with another fantastic run here in the Group 6 Cup Series. And again, MARSS Properties, his company, bringing it home. It's the banner outside the race. It's what's on the car. So Shane Parrish bringing it home for MARSS Properties in the first place position. Josh Cully, huge mover of the night, 29th to 2nd. Great run out of him, just not quite able to hold off Shane at the end. Daniel Wilkerson, his first podium finish of the year in 3rd place. Jamie Horn in 4th, Eric Wharman in 5th, makes up your top 5. Justin McMahon going to bring home in 6th place. Andrew St. Cyr in 7th. Tony Martin, great run out of him, up 10 spots in 8th. Kevin Thompson in 9th. Brian Messer in 10th. Nicholas Atwood 11th. Brian Dixon 12th. Joe McKnight 13th. Zachary Miller 14th. Zach Michael 15th, Seth Fitzpatrick 16th, Christopher Simon 17th, Eric Anderson 18th, Adam Thompson 19th, and Nick Shell bringing it home in 20th, and that will round out your top 20 here tonight.
And then I do have some of these guys waiting here in the booth, and coming up first, I do have Daniel Wilkerson, your league admin, also your 3rd place podium finisher for the night. Daniel, you got a copy with us in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, man, on a great run tonight. Looked like Jamie Horn had a little something for you there at the end, but you were able to hold him off. Can you tell us about your pit strategy coming around there to the last few 30 laps?
Yeah, we just rolled the dice and said, let's take tires. I mean, that last caution. We just said, let's just take tires, and, if we're right, we're going to, run it, go to the front. If we're wrong, we're going to get past. And go to the back again. So it was just a call there, I don't know, 50-50 shot at it. But, I was trying to save as much as I could there, even coming towards the end. And actually my tires weren't bad for that long of a run at the end. I probably should have went a little harder during it, but yeah, it was, I'll tell you, it was just I guess a good call. I mean, all the team, Josh and Justin as well, we all made the call. We came in, so it just worked out.
Now, did you know that Shane Parrish had older tires than you had, or if Jamie Horn had older tires than you had when you pitted?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know. I still don't have a clue how Shane, I mean, he just saved his tires. He ran a awesome race, and so did Jamie there. Because with the setup I had, it would come in at the end. I mean, it was, it's like there goes through a little spot kind of where I was when Jamie was catching me. I think, and then I probably would have been okay after a few more laps because it starts getting a little loose tight, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, it was but Jamie was coming on at the end running that high side, and then I went up high because he went up low, and that's the only way and he was able to, he had to back off there because I had to check up going into the turn because I was about to nail the wall because I got tight on entry. But it was a good, fun race. And, I was glad to finally get a top three. But yeah, everybody, I don't see Shane and Jamie, man. I don't know how they can save tires like that. They're great at it.
Yeah, we were kind of perplexed up here too, because I know those two, I don't think they took tires. I don't think Shane took tires. I'm pretty sure Jamie didn't, but they were still just hauling up there at the front, able to keep up, maintain pace. But great run from the whole team, really. But do you have any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we let you go here?
Oh yeah, I mean, shout out to Group 6 for the series sponsor. I want to, shout out to Shoney's for always being a supporter and being the presenting sponsor. Also, go ahead and Trackside NASCAR Outlet, Auto Pros, Buttkicker. I mean, we really just, all the people and y'all as well. Nap Daddy, everybody that pitches in. Mars Properties has done a lot of races, especially tonight. I mean, just appreciate all the support from everybody, and shout out to Justin and Josh too for the race, the call at the end, and all the guys, Jamie and Shane, they helped me out as well, with just pointers and stuff. So definitely, just a shout out to all them guys. I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without you either. We were talking about tonight how you kind of have a difficult job racing and also doing race control at the same time. So very impressive run tonight. I don't know how you do it. I wouldn't do it in a million years. And if I did, I'd be over the fence in a second. So thank you for everything that you do for the league, and we certainly appreciate it.
No problem, man. Yeah, tonight, I lose a position or two every time I try to clear flags and stuff. It's hard, but it's worth it. I mean, which I've got some help in there now. Jamie and some of the other ones. Bill and everybody. They can pitch in, and we're getting some of the other admins up to speed as well on how to do it. So, no, I appreciate all the admins for the work they do. Drivers Council, everybody, and y'all, man. Just really appreciate the whole league. We're having a really good season this year.
Oh yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but congrats again on tonight, man. A great run. We're looking forward to seeing you next week up here.
I'll do my best for sure. North Wilkesboro, isn't it? So we'll see.
Oh yeah, be a fun one.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. That's gonna be Daniel Wilkerson, your race or your league admin, and also your P3 finisher for tonight. I mean, we kind of talked that one up, did we not?
What's that?
The whole Daniel Wilkerson finishing up top. Looking at his practice run, he was very fast in practice. Kind of just talked that one into existence there, huh?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, again, just exactly like you mentioned, with the whole race control and the race, and I know he has help with the admins and everything else like that, and it is a great league in that respect for everyone supporting each other. But at the end of the day, he still has to make a ton of calls while still trying to be competitive in the race. And very, very talented driver. Been doing it a long time, so great to see it pay off for him here tonight.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of wins whenever we try to pick drivers and stuff like that, so I'm trying to take a little bit of credit for that, how we mentioned that at the beginning. So just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's going to be Daniel Wilkerson, third place tonight. Fantastic run, holds off Jamie Horn with a good strategy there. So we don't have Josh Cully in our waiting room right now. He's going to be your second place finisher, but I am going to pull up your first place finisher in Shane Parrish for the second week in a row. And I did pull it up. It was Phoenix, Homestead, and Texas, and now tonight here. Let's see if we can get Shane up here in the booth. Shane, you got a copy with us?
Yes, I do.
Welcome back, man. This is 2 weeks in a row. It seems like anytime a race is sponsored by MARSS Properties, you go out and show out. So tell us, because we're all wondering your secrets here, how were you able to save so well and pull that off there at the very end?
I don't know. I don't know. I really can't tell you. I mean, I turned the brake bias all the way down, but in that last stop, I tightened the car up by half pound there at the beginning because it was just a little too loose, and then it got real tight, just like it did in Texas. And next caution, I freed it up a little bit, and then that last caution I went in, I took a stab and made a couple more adjustments and loosened it up even more. And I think with being on the older tires and as loose as it was, and having to really most corners off, most time off four, I was driving to the right more than I was to the left. So I don't know. Maybe it was the adjustments. I'm not really sure what did it, but man, I didn't think. I told Jamie and them, I said, I don't think I've got anything for him, man. He's fast right now on the newer tires. And then I just started seeing the time clicking down a little bit, and then I slowed it down a little bit more going in entry, and I started getting better runs off, and I was seeing I was picking up more time. Kind of kept doing that until I maxed out, and then kind of stayed right there and adjusted a little bit. But the last 5 laps I was driving really hard.
Yeah, we kind of like clockwork pulled up the deltas between Josh Cully and yourself, and Josh was he was maintaining some distance, maybe adding about a tenth every 2 or 3 laps, and then we went away for maybe 2 laps, and when we came back, you were right on his bumper. I mean, just night and day kind of switch there and pulling up on him. I was going to ask you about kind of coming off on this turn 4 here, if you felt like the car was plowing up into the wall as the run went on, if it was washing up, if it was getting too loose coming out of turn 4.
It depends on how I drove it. Sometimes it would go, definitely would be tight, but not most times. Most times I knew before I even got to center how it turned in center, if I was going to be tied off, and I could back up on the gas or ride the brake a little bit or do something to try to adjust it. But being in the draft, I think, really helped me more than anything, just because I can run such a fast pace in the draft and not be full throttle through the corners. So I think that had a lot to do with saving as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to North Wilkesboro next week, and it is also the MARSS Property 200. How do you feel about your chances there?
Short track racing. I haven't been there for a long time. I don't know if I've even ran on that track, to be honest with you. It sounds new to me, so I don't know. Had a lot of practice this week. Didn't think I was going to get that, but some stuff got delayed and didn't make it in shipping, so it took some extra time here this week and got the car. And thank you, Ryko, for all the times that they put in. And the NIS, this is the NIS set they were running NIS night because it's so much hotter. Without this set, we would have been so dead loose we couldn't have even got off the corner, to be honest with you. So this one started out tight for the first 4 or 5 laps, and then there just kept on.
Oh yeah, well, fantastic run from you tonight. That's 2 straight, making it your 4th win here. I think you moved up 7 positions in the points from last week to this week, and I'm sure you're going to jump up even more. I'm guessing probably to a top 3 spot after this run. But before I let you go, anybody you would like to thank or any sponsors out there?
Well, I'd like to thank, MARSS, my company, for letting me be in the driver's seat. That's, let my wife let me do the practice that I like to do and get on here and not mine. So that's awesome. Again, want to thank Ryko, want to thank Doghouse League, Jamie, Daniel, everybody that's involved with the league. Definitely you guys up there for a big shout out. You guys do a great job every week. Want to just say that Josh, that was one heck of a race. It's that was tight between the two of us, and he moved to the high side, and noticed he started gaining a little bit, and then I had to push a little bit harder. It was definitely I'd have me on the edge of my seat, that's for sure. So I appreciate Josh and the clean racing he gave me there, and the other guys that did as well.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations again to you tonight. Congrats on your 2nd win here in a row and 4th win of the season. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, definitely look forward to it, guys. And I thank you very much, and have a great night.
Yes, sir. You too.
Good man.
And that is Shane Parrish. Going to be your first place winner tonight. Well, I guess this is the only winner. It's your first place winner, but first place going to be your winner tonight, the MARSS Property 201. Seems like every time we call it the MARSS Property, or was MARSS Property sponsors a race. Shane has a fantastic run, but Yeah, congrats to him, man. He's going to keep moving up in points. He did have some bad luck, which set him back to about 13th in the point standings, and moved up to 7th after last week, or moved up 7th. He moved up to 7th, I think, up 6 spots, and now I think he's going to move up even more after this. I really think into probably 3rd, if I had to take a guess. So really making up some ground here with those wins. That's going to be very helpful for him. But still a long season. It's still anybody's game. This is not going to be a good night for guys like Seth Fitzpatrick, who did not have a good finish. Had a good run early on, kind of ran into some damage there, but hopefully he'll be able to bounce back next week. He was your points leader. Jamie Horn was right behind him in the points, so going to help Jamie out, hurt Seth a little bit. Give me your thoughts on the race.
It was just really fun to watch, man. And it was, like we talked about in the beginning, so many different people are going to have different strategies here and play to different lines. And, you know, you saw Josh Cully and Daniel Wilkerson really roll the dice there at the end, going to get those tires and still being able to run all the way back up there to the front. And just an incredible run out of them. And then I like how even you have Shane Parrish, who probably puts in more practice than pretty much anybody else I know. And we're like, did you know something? Like, what was your secret? And he's like, honestly, I don't know, man. Just saving it and, you know, playing with the brake bias and things like that, and able to pull out a victory. Like you said, not a great night for some other guys who are high in the points that know that they're going to bounce back. And just a really fun race to watch. A couple of cautions in there, kept things a little spicy, and it was just really, really fun to watch. And looking forward to the old Moonshine Runner special next week.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a blast. But before we get out of here, tell us about our sponsors that put the league on.
I think I can do that for one final time, and we appreciate all of our sponsors so very much for making sure that this thing stays ticking and keeps going around. Group 6 being our series sponsor for the year. Group 6 is a leading creative agency. We are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore the wide range of services that they offer at group6inc.com and see how they can drive your digital success. Again, huge thanks to Group 6 for being the series sponsor for the year. Huge shout out also to MARSS Properties. You just saw it cross the finish line in first place. MARSS Properties offers vacation house getaways in North Carolina within an hour from the ocean. Call 817-705-4108 to speak to Shane Parrish, directly about your North Carolina getaway, or about tips and tricks about how to run 55 lap old tires successfully at Kansas. Either way, but mostly about the North Carolina vacations. And also a huge shout out to Shoney's. The Doghouse Racing League is very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's, longtime supporter. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. And also a huge shout out to Buttkicker for being a longtime supporter of the Doghouse Racing League. If you want to take your iRacing experience up a notch, be sure to head on over to their website at thebuttkicker.com. Pick up the best in racing haptics. It will take your racing experience to the next level, and you should go over there to their website and check them out. Again, shout out to Buttkicker for being a longtime supporter of the Doghouse Racing League. And then a little shameless self-promo at the end from us. Myself and John make up Nap Daddy Racing. Originally, we were an iRacing design shop, which we still do. We've expanded to try to be your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing needs. Be sure to check out the website, napdaddyracing.com, KNAPPDADDYRACING, for all of your custom design, template, or logo needs. And be sure to grab some of the free content that is available up there yourself. If you're not into iRacing, you can still be able to help support the boys by grabbing a t-shirt or a hat or something like that to help support us. Check us out here on Doghouse Racing TV every single Thursday, on our own channel on Monday nights, and live on TikTok as often as we are capable of being. And we are very, very proud to be a part of the Doghouse Racing League. Very convinced that it is one of the best leagues out there.
I think you topped your first ad read.
You think? I was a little more concerned about that one.
I think you crushed it.
Felt good.
But with that said, that is going to be it for us tonight. We are heading to North Wilkesboro next week for, I can't even remember what week we're on right now. Week 13. Lucky week 13 at North Wilkesboro.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, yes. Going to be a fun time. North Wilkesboro is a fun track. A lot of short track racing. I'm sure a lot of these guys will enjoy that. That's going to be right here on Doghouse Racing TV, starting at 7:45. You can also check out more racing action on Sunday night with the Auto Pros Truck Series on Doghouse Racing TV, starting at 7:45 as well, hosted by your very own Jamie Horn, Daniel Wilkerson, and possibly Bill Gentry. Maybe not be up there. And then on Tuesday nights as well in the Gen 4 series, only 4 races left in the series. It looks like Jonathan Jennings has got a pretty good wrap on that season, but big battles going on between 2nd to 5th to 8th to 9th place. I get to race on those nights in that league, so I'm always super excited when Tuesday nights roll around. That's going to be on Intensity Broadcasting, 7:45 as well. But until then, thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with us tonight, being with us, spending your Thursday night with us. We've always had a good time here on Thursday nights. I hope you do too. So for the final time tonight, I have been John.
And I have been Hunter.
And we will see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.